Seasons come and seasons go, but the news goes on forever. Welcome to Life in the 1900s newspapers. Today's newspaper we will be reading is the Fresno Morning Republican from Fresno, California. Hey, wake up, feller. It's the Halloween special today. We're going back in time to October 28th, 1930. Risk lives to break record. If, in his 27th parachute jump, George Salley, local jumper, is successful and waits long enough before pulling the ripcord, the thousands who are expected to attend the Armistice Day Air Show at the Chandler Field on November 11th will see a world's record broken for a free drop. Salley intends to leap from the door of his 300 horsepower Wright Whirlwind monoplane, piloted by Jack DeYoung, able young Fresno aviator, with an elevation of approximately 20,000 feet. The photo above shows left to right pilot DeYoung and Salley with his two silk parachutes averaging 26 feet in diameter. If the first one doesn't work, Salley will try the second one. One of the most popular newspaper comics of the 30s was Little Orphan Annie. Let's read this week's. I, for 40 years and more, I've been a seafaring man. I grant you, I have a real trim craft here. But for me, give old Spike Marlin a good sailing vessel every time. But I'm getting old. Times have changed, I reckon. Poor old codger, courage and a heart of gold, and everything he had in the world was lost when that sailboat of his broke up on the beach, but he saved Annie's life. He saved her from those waterfront thugs, then from that wreck, and he held back the fever till help came. I owe him more than I can ever pay. Something must be done for him, but you can't pay a chap like Spike Marlin. He's too big and a real man. Money won't do. But he must be taken care of in some way. Let me think. Let's check out an article on the Society page. Mrs. Kate Wilson of Kellogg, Iowa, was the guest of honor when her sister-in-law, Mrs. Henry Hubbard, presided at a dinner at her home on Washington Avenue last Friday. Mrs. Wilson had not seen her brother for 26 years until she arrived here. Roses adorned the rooms of the home. And the long dinner tables were tall, orange-colored candles, and Halloween suggestions further were used in the decorations. For Halloween, Benham features beautiful individual molds, fancy center bricks, fancy paper cases, black and orange lace doilies for Halloween. We will gladly help you plan your party or dinner dessert, packed the new way with dry ice, ready to serve. Phone 23141, Benham Ice Cream Company. Do you remember when ice cream came in a half-gallon brick? And trying to use a round scoop to get into the corners. In the 1930s newspapers, they went into a lot of detail, more than we do today. Listen to this one. Says husband wrote love letters to another and then let wife read them. Charging that her husband carried on an open and notorious love affair with another woman, Thelma Glascock yesterday filed suit in the Superior Court for a divorce from Rex Glascock, whom she married August 12, 1926. Mrs. Glascock charges that her husband wrote love letters to another woman, addressing to her as sweetheart in similar terms, and allowed the wife to read them before he mailed them, thus tantalizing her. She also charged that she accompanied her husband on a trip to San Francisco, but en route at San Jose, he picked up another woman and took her for company. Glascock parked his wife in the city and went out with the other woman. The complaint charges later telling his wife of his association with the woman. En route back to Fresno, the complaint charges Glascock stopped to let out the other woman and kissed her goodbye. So notorious became the affair, it is charged Glascock lost his position.
In the winter, in the summer, don't we have fun? Times are bum and getting bummer, still we have fun. There's nothing sure, the rich get rich and the poor get children. In the meantime, in between time, ain't we got fun?
Real values at the Logan Auto Company, 1528 Broadway. A 1930 salesman model 25-passenger Rio sedan, very best of its shape. New car guarantee, listed at $1,895, now only $1,500. Or how about an almost new Flying Cloud Master sedan for only $1,425? A 1929 Nash 400 sedan, low mileage in very best of shape, $750. And finally, a 1928 Pontiac Coupe, $475.
Every morning, every evening, ain't we got fun? Not much money, oh, but funny, ain't we got fun? The rent's unpaid, dear, we have enough fuss, but smiles were made, dear, for people like us. Oh, in the winter.
Greater talkie season, bigger, better than ever at the Fox Wilson, Bombshell of mirth. Today and tomorrow, new gags, new jokes, new fun. Morin and Mac, the two black crows in anybody's war.
In between time, ain't we got fun?
At the Fox State Theater, 2 more days of this sensational love drama, more fascinating than ever. Greta Garbo in romance. Ends tomorrow. Road to Paradise. The amazing story of 2 girls who looked alike but lived in different worlds. Fate flung them together and revealed a strange secret, with Loretta Young in the screen's first dual talking role.
Was low, about a quarter in size. Not a word was heard, not a soul alive. I turned around and I heard some jive. Spooks were playing a tune on a tombstone. Tried to run, but my doggies grew stiff. Shook in my britches and I don't mean if. A fiddle squeaked a high spooky riff, and spooks were playing a tune on a tombstone. The old town crier had given them their cue. The pilgrims there were square dancing too, while Pocahontas gave them a lift, calling each reel with Captain John Smith. When I awoke, spooks had fled. I looked in the closet and under the bed. There on the floor was a book I read. No more spooky stories for me at night. I never ever want to see another sight like the spooks playing a tune on the tombstone. Spooks were playing a tune on a tombstone. Playing a tune on a tombstone. The old town crier had given them their cue. The pilgrims there with square dancing too, while Pocahontas gave them a lift, calling each reel with Captain John Smith. When I awoke, the spooks had fled. I looked in the closet and under the bed. There on the floor was a book I read. No more spooky stories for me at night. I never ever want to see another sight like the spooks playing a tune on a tune.